Tower London, Palace, Egyptian Palace, Kew Palace.
So we're here at the Tower of London doing kind of a behind the scenes tour because I have a backstage pass. So I thought I'd take you guys along. It's very crowded because it's spring break, not their fall break in England, so the kids are off school right now. So that's why there's a lot of families here. You can see they do a little bit of Halloween. It's about a week before Halloween, and they've started to do a little bit of Halloween decorations here.
But this is such a great venue.
I know.
What an amazing office.
As a Brit, this is so special because I've done the whole, regular tour as a child.
It's just so really.
Ideal now. It's just above it. You got God Save the King in his tower. See, that's from HMS Tower, an R-class destroyer in 1912. You see that above there?
Yeah.
No one ever does.
It was.
Yeah.
It was Elizabeth Throckmorton.
There's a lot of ghosts around here. So this is the bell tower, and this is the bottom half of it. So this was built during the reign of Richard the Lionheart, was the first. Added on to 60 years later during the reign of Henry III. So the only way to get to the upper tower is through the Queen's house itself, through the private residence. So no stairwell, the only access is on top. So we're in the lower bit. In the upper bit is where Queen Elizabeth I was held. Only for a short period until she was sent off to Woodstock, which is not a hippie commune. She's down in Oxfordshire, and she's just outside Blenheim Palace. And of course, then up there was Rudolph Hess, deputy leader of Nazi Germany, was down there for a couple of days. Then he was taken on to the Nuremberg trials after the war, and then a lifetime in Spandau prison, West Berlin, where I think there was 3 of our young warders actually gone when they were in the military. Yeah.
So Hess was held here?
Yeah.
It was not when he was first captured, but on his way.
No, they need to bring him down somewhere to question him, because he handed himself in up in Scotland, right? Or Edinburgh, as you like to call it. So he handed himself in up there, and then came down to London. Then they needed to obviously question him. They needed to do it somewhere in privacy, but that was secure. It's a garrisoned area, no one's coming in here. So then, ironically, they took him away from here during the Blitz. Didn't want to be bombed by the Luftwaffe. So he then into the countryside for his own safekeeping until after the war, and then obviously Spandau prison thereafter. When he hung himself thereafter, everything, any reference to the Nazi party in Germany, particularly Berlin, that was all laid to waste, razed to the ground. They now built a shopping centre over the top of it, and you're supposed to ask me, what shop? Tesco's.
Where we are, this building is called?
This is the Bell Tower. It's on the top is the bell, the oldest surviving carefree alarm bell in the city of London. So this is the bottom half, and this is where Thomas More was held. Slightly more, there's a lot of marble here, so here would have had some pedestals, carved capitals on the top. See some remnants of them there. So it's quite a cold place. Some years later, it very ignominiously used as a bit of a larder. and a storeroom. So larder for provisions, storeroom for anything really. And of course, when I first got here, they sort of resurrected these secret toilets. They used to do them somewhat on an ad hoc basis, but then they wanted to formalize it to generate some income. So that's when we found a bit about Thomas More and this and the other. Every year though, on the anniversary of his death, on the 6th of July 1535, it's normally, the 22nd of June is for John Fisher, the Bishop of Rochester in the upper chamber. They're saints, and it's been a bit of a pilgrimage for some of those Roman Catholics. So they come here, the Bishop of London has a ceremony both here, upstairs, and in the chapel itself. So he's remembered. He was a pious man. They knew he was held in here because he looked out the window and he remarked in his own diaries how he saw these Carthusian monks going to their deaths. So they were going up to Tower Hill to be burnt, or St Paul's to be burnt at the stake at Paternoster Square, and they were quite joyous to the fact that they were going to meet their Maker. So the idea was that if you were burnt at the stake, you were, it cleansed your soul as you went to heaven. Yeah, well, it is quite poignant when you come in there. It is a bit of a hodgepodge. It has been sort of developed over the years because they thought, remember when Hess came in, they thought if Hess was giving himself up, they thought that Hitler might do the same. So they put a toilet upstairs and they rooted the pipework there. So that's known as Hitler's crapper because Thomas Crapper all the way to France. That's what I like to think.
This is the original toilet.
I mean, it smells good.
Crown jewels. After he's done the crown jewels, a must see is the. If you go into the White Tower, remember in there, there's a little chapel, St John the Evangelist. You know what he looks like there, the baby face with him on it. So once you go in there, and there's the line of kings and everything else, so you can take as many pictures as you want in there. Definitely go and see the chapel of St Peter the Beefeater, Latin for Peter in chains, and that just refers to when the Apostle King was imprisoned by King Herod.
There were Yeoman Gaoler to chat to and our wardens as well. But we'll there won't be any photography in here, I'm afraid.
I'm across the river at the Tower of London, and you can see the Shard